Welcome back. Today's lecture is about finding your broker, which is the way through which you are able to access the stock market. So let's jump into this. First of all, what is a broker? A brokerage account, that is the exact term, is an account that holds financial assets, such as securities, on behalf of an investor with a bank, broker or custodian, and generally invest for them. Very complicated definition that just says it is a bank that allows you to invest in the stock market and holds what you invest in for you. Because even if you buy a stock, it's not that you have it physically in your house, right? So they are still in the broker, but they do a work of custodian for you. And so let's have a better idea of how this happens in practice, how we have the roles across this situation. You, the investor, you deposit money into the app or the broker, and then you're the one that requests to buy or sell something. Obviously, assuming that you are an independent investor and you don't have a financial advisor that does it for you. But the concept is the same. The human is the person that says, here is the money, I want to buy this, I want to sell that, but it's not that you really then go to the market and give the shares to someone. No, the broker handles this transaction for you. And indeed, the broker is what holds money and assets and execute orders for the investors, whether it's from buying something or selling something. A broker cannot just decide themselves to sell your positions unless you are in some leveraged positions and things we don't do. But in your case, you'll never find yourself that, oh my God, my broker sold something for me. That would be illegal. I also want to make very clear, is the broker a bank, an app? Is it something else? Well, in reality, all the reputable brokers hold a banking license. So you will never find a broker that just can handle your money and is not actually a bank. But the reason that we have this misconception is because in our mind, a bank is the physical place that you go into, that you withdraw money from. But in reality, a bank is anything that holds money or assets. And any broker, it's simply a bank that decided to specialize into being a broker. Indeed, you have local banks that also you can invest through, right? So those work both as a normal bank, in which you get mortgages, credit cards and stuff, and they also provide investing services. In the recent years, we have seen a surge of banks that focus on just being a broker, but they are still banks. So I want to make this very clear. In any case, the broker takes your order that you requested and execute it. How? By going into the stock market, which is the meeting place for investors in which the transactions happen. If you have doubts on the difference between stock market and stock exchanges, go back to the lecture about the basics of the stock market. Okay? So this is the structure. You take your broker, you open it, you are able to order to do something, and they do it for you. That's it. That's the simple relationship that you have with them. Okay? So we have 5 considerations to make when choosing a broker. And FYI, we will provide you in the notes of this video with our current favorite list of brokers. However, as always, you're not here to just do what we say without understanding why. You're here to understand the logic behind it so that you are comfortable also after you become a complete confident investor and do things on your own. So the first thing that we want to have is easiness of use. If you are totally uncomfortable with the website of your broker, how it works, it's glitchy, it's old, anything that makes your experience worse, well, it's an additional obstacle, challenge on investing appropriately, right? Because if you're just uncomfortable using the broker, you may just say, I don't even want to use it, I'm not going to invest. You know, that's the extreme. So we want something that works well. Number 2, fees. So here is a huge problem because I know that a lot of you are using brokers that are super expensive and you don't even know, because banks, these brokers, they just build these huge contracts of 18 pages and expect you to read any little line, and 99% of those are useless. But then you have a small line that says, oh yeah, by the way, we are going to charge you 2% of your assets, or every time you buy something, it will cost you 15 pounds. You know, this actually happens. And so fees, obviously, we want a broker that is not expensive. I don't like to say cheap because if a broker is too cheap, it may be that they are less secure or they do something shady. Just not expensive, okay? Number 3, how many markets are available? Do you remember that the stock exchanges we have a lot of stock exchanges, and some brokers may offer you maybe just the biggest stock exchange, like New York Stock Exchange or the London Stock Exchange. However, you may want a broker, if you plan to do more diversified investments, that also offers you more local markets. And so there are different options here that we are going again to mention in the notes of this video. That's the third characteristics that we want to look for. And just to give you also an idea, you may even consider to say, oh, I'm not able to find a broker that has all the markets available and is also cheap, not expensive. Well, you could even find just 2 brokers and use one for your very passive, simple strategy, the one that is inexpensive, and then have an extra broker on top of this that you use only when you want to go in very niche markets. I do this. I have 2 brokers, one for my easy, simple strategy, and one when I want to do something complicated, and has a lot of options. Number 4, customer service. If you have some problem, you want to be sure that you have someone that will help you. And therefore, and this is especially important the more money you invest, because if you have £10,000, you're maybe not that concerned that they are taking some time to solve some of your problems. But if then you have 1 million invested and you need to transact it in some way, or there's some problem of login and you need to change your investment strategy, well, it impacts you a lot. And so this is why I say don't go for the cheapest broker, go for an inexpensive one that still provides you decent customer service. The more money you have, the more customer service becomes important, and you can accept slightly higher fees. And finally, the most important one, safety. We're talking about your money here. That should be the first priority. I should have put it as a first thing here. Safety means, would you be comfortable to have 1 million in this broker, in this exact platform? Well, any platform that has some aspect of gamification, like they make it look like as a game. I'm not going to say the names, but you probably know which brokers I'm talking about. I wouldn't use them because they are more focused on making everything like a game rather than being safe. And again, there are ways to understand how safe is a broker. Most importantly, do they hold a banking license? Were they part of any scandal in the past? These are the main things that I look into. And again, I'm going to provide you the list. We already filtered out the best brokers, but you want to understand why. One extra point on safety, on something that I think confuses a lot of people. It's a question that I receive quite often, which refers to the £85,000 limit, which currently is what the government gives you as protection when you invest. Have you ever heard of this? It's basically saying that if you have your money in a bank and this bank goes bankrupt, you are protected up to £85,000, and over this limit, you are not sure to receive back the money if the bank went bankrupt. So, first of all, this law applies also to brokers, because we just learned that brokers are actually banks. And so the banking regulation that says that your money is protected up to £85,000 is true also in this case. However, there is a very important thing to understand. We are talking about cash. Because otherwise you may think, wait, does it mean that if I have $500,000 invested, I need to open 6 brokers to be protected? No. You just want to keep less than £85,000 into your into your investment account. And so if, for example, I have 1 million invested and I have 950,000 that are invested across shares, bonds, commodities, anything that is like this, but I just have £50,000 in cash, even if the broker goes bankrupt, I'm still safe because I'm protected up to £85,000 in cash. So the 50,000, the government will give it back to me, even if the broker goes bankrupt. The other 950,000 are safe because the broker cannot put your investments into their balance sheet. And so if the company goes bankrupt, you lose your money. No, they're just being your custodian. And so the moment a broker goes bankrupt, you simply request a transfer to another broker and nothing can stop you unless they did something fraudulent that never happened in history and they would go to jail for it and you would be protected anyway. So this is very important. The main lesson from here, do not keep more than 85,000 or whatever will be the limit in the future in cash, but anything else, you just put it as investments, even in something super safe like short-term bonds that are basically cash, but they still count as investments, and so they won't count toward your 85,000 limit. So, having said this, I'm going now to move to the website of BrokerChooser.com, which is a very useful tool to get a better understanding of the situation of many brokers. Not all of the brokers are available here, but a good chunk, and so you definitely want to see on this website what you're actually paying for your broker. And again, then in the notes, you'll see what's best for you. Okay, so we are now on BrokerChooser. So this is the link that you can get to the broker review section. So you avoid the part of the homepage here. Don't get concerned on what they suggest you, because unfortunately they are paid to suggest a broker over the other. So I don't use the selection too much, but the review they do instead is very objective. So you go to broker reviews, you do all reviews, you make sure that the right country is selected. So for example, here you would like to probably put like this. And now I see the brokers that are available in the United Kingdom in 2025. Okay, so let me take, for example, let's say that you have Hargreaves Lansdown and you want to see how this one fares. So you don't click here, you go to read review. And so here now I can have a great idea of what Hargreaves Lansdown does. And the main things that I would like to see is this quick overview. What are the pros? What are the cons? High fees for stocks and ETFs, very bad. Only GBP-based currency, if you're an international investor, could be a limitation. It's not great broker. Like, look at this. This is one of the main things you want to see, right? How the best brokers in the United Kingdom compare to Hargreaves Lansdown. Again, this may change at the moment in which you watch this video, but overall the idea is the same. Look at this. If you buy a US stock, which is one of the main stocks that we are interested in, Apple, Amazon, things those, you are paying $15 versus these brokers that make you pay this little amount. And I can say, okay, I'm interested maybe on, well, here is not super precise. We can even go lower to see better the situation. So fees, for example, you see here, Hargreaves Lansdown, for UK stocks, I pay $15. Mutual fund commission are low, thank God, because they want to make you buy these mutual funds because they are terrible. So that's why they are low. Low bond commissions, well, I disagree. $15 is still very high. There's no inactivity fee. So you see, you can have an idea on how the broker looks like. And then you want also to look at the safety part. And you want to always click read more about safety and understand everything. Okay? So overall, you want to basically look in this review at the 5 areas that we discussed before. Easiness of use, safety, fees, available markets, and I forgot the 5th one right now on top of my mind, and the 5th one, customer service. So here, as you can see, the fees, I can see them here. The safety, I just go here. And then let's see if we find anything else. Account opening, blah, blah, blah. This is more about the easiness of use, but I'm more interested, for example, in the mobile app. There's no two-step login. This is very important to me because I'm like, wait, I cannot put like the two-factor authentication, makes it not very safe. Web trading platform, is it user-friendly, whatever. Product selection, you see here, it's a problem. Product selection is like saying available markets, right? So here it tells me that a lot of things are not available. And so forth, okay? So you can keep going like this, and overall, I suggest you to use this resource to check your existing broker or to have a deep dive on the brokers we suggest on the notes of this video. Overall, I hope this lecture was helpful, and I'll see you next time. Be stoic.